seems to me, if you're in any kind of institution, free speech isn't really thriving these days. I mean, they might say, oh yeah, we encourage healthy debate amongst our students, but do they really want to hear two different opposing views where one person is trying to convince the other? Or do they just want to hear two different sides to the same coin? I'll give you an example from my secondary school because that stuck out in my memory. And it was where I just moved from an all-girls school to a mixed one because, you know, it's not a natural environment. Didn't get on there. And I kid you not, within the first week, maybe even the first day, in our form, they sat us in front of news round to watch it. I think it was something that the teacher liked to do. Rolls eyes. And there's some sort of story where something's being blown up. Terrorist. Terrorist. And my immediate reaction was, without even thinking about it, just blurted, terrorists aren't real. And people look around me and like, what? Wait, what does she mean? Huh? And by this point, I was so embarrassed that I didn't even say anything else. I just sat down and been like, great, what have I got myself into? Because that is my genuine theory, that terrorism is a staged affair, that they create these scenarios where some bad guys kill people or they blow something up, and then that is then used as an excuse to implement stricter laws. So, for example, this country is now not allowed, their citizens aren't allowed to hold weapons or any sort of guns because of these hokey pokey boogeymen, which were fantasized. And I'm hoping that the buildings that were blown up for camera, hopefully they were evacuated beforehand. But anyway, that is the evidence that I've come to realise. But you try explaining that to a bunch of 15, 16-year-old kids who are so deep in this mainstream narrative that a lot of them aren't going to be fished out by this point. Only maybe the most curious ones. So, I mean, people were asking me about it for a while, like, what do you mean? How can terrorists not be real? People die. Like, does that not mean anything to you? One boy got so mad, he said, literally, you're like Hitler. And he meant it. It was just, people forgot about it over time. Even that boy started talking to me like normal a few months down the line, as if it never even happened at all. But the fact is, people don't understand, and what they don't understand, they're scared of. The teacher, that very same day, she came up to me and said, can you stay behind at break time, please? I said, yeah, sure. And she spoke a little bit. I said, is it true? Is it true what you said in form, that you was looking at the news and you said that terrorists aren't real? I was like, yeah. The word she used was, I don't think you should be voicing such strong opinions around people. Like that, some of these subjects can be close to people's hearts, and it upsets them. And I get that. It's like that on purpose. They create these stories and these psyops to affect people's hearts. But does that mean that I should not be able to voice my views? Does that mean that these beliefs are not even up for question? I don't know. But me being the good girl, the undercover rebel, the one who didn't want to raise her voice, didn't say anything from then on, because people already thought of me as the weirdo as it is without me opening my mouth, so I didn't want to make it any worse. But this is just the environment that we're living in nowadays. You can't say this and you can't say that for fear of offending someone. But what is more important, your truth or someone's opinion? I think, personally, that we just need to evolve as a collective to get to this point where it doesn't really matter what someone else thinks, that you can just handle it in a mature manner. And if you disagree on something, then agree to disagree. It can be respected. Because they keep promoting this diversity stuff. Yay, we're a diverse community. What does it really mean? They like people with different viewpoints, or they want people who look different but think the same.